We have no common sense. We have no logical thinking anymore. And it's really sad. There is something to be said about people that are trying to prepare for whatever kind of catastrophe that might happen. And a lot of people aren't going to like it, but we need to humble ourselves and understand where we're at and not think that we are the best at what we do. It took me a long time in my life to realize that I wasn't top dog. When you're a teenager and you learn a new skill, I'm top dog. I know, everything about everything. And a lot of people in today's society think they're just the best. They think they're the greatest at everything they do. You know how to make a fire with sticks. Like I'm a freaking Indian. It takes being humbled in life to realize that you don't know everything and you have a lot to learn. We all do. Whether you're 15 years old, you're 35 years old, you're 75 years old, it doesn't matter. There is always something to be learned. And a lot of people don't learn what they need to learn simply because they think they already know it. There have been many times where I go out thinking that I know what I need to know, and some kind of situation pops up. People need to understand that what they know is not the best always. Some instances you might be the best at what you do. You might be the best of the best in it. But that overinflates people's heads. They get so, egotistical about changing their ways. I'm always open to adapting what I'm doing. I'm always adapting. I'll do something for 5 years and I think it's the best way to do it. And then I find a new way to do it. Somebody tells me about a different way to do it and I try it. And I say, oh, wow, that's great. I'll throw what I know away out and I'll start doing it that way because it's better. I'm always willing to adapt to become a better, whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm learning, how I'm trying to do it. Whether it is some kind of survival skill or, building something, or baking, anything. I always try to learn from people. But people are so wrapped up in their heads thinking they know everything, thinking what they know is the best way. There's no other way to do it but their way. Until your way of doing it doesn't work out. Like me with computers. I don't know how to work a computer and I'll start, oh man, this piece of crap, it's not working. It's not working because I don't know how to use it properly. Simple things like that. You get a new piece of equipment, this thing must be broken because I can't figure it out. That's people's mentality with things. This is a piece of junk because I can't figure it out. You're not humble enough to accept that this obviously works because somebody programmed it to work and it's going to work. 9 times out of 10 it is going to work. It's just you're just ignorant on how it works. And you need to be able to overcome that. Get rid of your ego in life. Get rid of the mentality of the best. That is going to get you killed very quickly. When you think you know everything, when you think your way is the best, there's no do-overs when the world ends, when all this crap goes, sideways. There's no do-overs. In a situation like that, if the power goes out, there's no, oh crap. There's no, oh, I'll try again next week. There's no, oh, I'm just going to order whatever on Amazon. I'll buy a piece. If it breaks, it breaks. That's it. So my suggestion to people is buy books on things. Even on things that you might think you know. Because, some old dude told you 20 years ago on how to do it, so that's the way you do it. not realizing he didn't know crap about what he was doing. The most important preparation that you can have is books. Your Bible for one, and then homesteading books. I have a set of books. They're called Foxfire books. It's basically how they lived in the 1800s. It's a whole series of books that talk about how they did anything and everything in the 1800s. And they are phenomenal books. How to make cheese, and how to make butter, how to sew, how to make things like how to tan leather, how to blacksmith, how to build log cabins, how to raise animals, how to clean water, how to make soap. And that's an older book, but the information in it still applies. And they're constantly coming out with books. I have a boatload of books on all kinds of random stuff, from everything from raising bees and raising, chickens, building, just architectural books. I've got a lot of Bibles. I probably have 20 plus Bibles, different versions of it. I have books for kids to learn how to do math and reading, things like that. I have a bunch of books. That's like one of my most prized possessions is my collection of books, because that is something that I can fall back onto if the power goes out, when the power goes out. I have, reading material. I have something to keep my mind occupied. I have something to do, something to learn. I can't stand not being able to look something up. And we've become so accustomed to these phones in our hands, so if I don't know something, I just have to Google it or YouTube it. How to do this, and you find 50 million different ways to do it. And that is super awesome for us. But we've become so reliant on our phones and the internet, we're not retaining the information. Look at the information that you can remember 15, 20 years ago, before cell phones were a real big thing. And look at the information that you can remember now. Look at our society. We're a freaking goldfish with TikTok and the shorts and the 15-second videos. Our mindset, our attention span is really embarrassing. It's really atrocious to see how forgetful people are on like the dumbest stuff that you talked about a day or two ago, or 20 minutes ago. You talk to somebody and you ask them, I can't remember. Oh, you said I don't remember what you said. One, we're not paying attention when people are talking. We have our phones in our hands looking down. Two, and like I said, our attention span is it's destroyed because we're not using our minds. We're not actively engaging in our minds. Just think about it, man. Think about getting some knowledge for yourself. You need to get the hard information. And I know everybody doesn't have 50 years to acquire the knowledge in your head to remember everything. We don't have that kind of time right now, because the world's just going to hell, like really fast. But you can do the books. You can get the knowledge. You can get the gardening books. You can get the blacksmithing books. You can get those things to fall back onto, because we're going to need them. Just think about it, that's all. Make sure you have information on how to do stuff. Basic first aid. Things like that. We're so dumbed down anymore. We don't know how to do anything but rely on the media, to rely on the news. We have no common sense. We have no logical thinking anymore. And it's really sad. Something to think about.